Let's go. What's up? What's up? What's up? One of those dynamic hawks this morning. Everything's looking nice and rational. I like that. Can't complain. We'll be live in about 2 minutes. Live trading with Rocket Scooter and Wolf Financial and some other friends. So this is the only channel where someone is trading and being transparent. At least that's what you found. Oh, cool. Well, it is kind of rare, I guess. I've honestly never seen somebody do that myself. I'd like to watch. Not I see transparent. Let's start with fully transparent. It's different. Transparent is like you show a lot of. I have all whole definitions of transparent, but fully transparent is showing everything, like everything. There's nothing left out, even the account number, right? Speaking of, let me put that on the screen. In the meantime, remind myself to do that. Fully transparent being account balance, account history, account number to prove that it's real, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. How y'all doing today? Y'all getting ready to get started? Let's go. I forgot to load my trading. You may think I forgot to load my trading platform here. So 8 days in a trading streak. 8 days of the challenge. Lucky me, I haven't lost a day yet. We'll see if that continues. Obviously, you shouldn't think about streaks in your trading. It's kind of toxic to do that. You get that in your head. Run this disclaimers up here one more time, but you know this is my account performance is unusual. My results can't indicate your results, of course. You know, there's things that you have to know. Trading's risky, you know, all the good stuff that you know, we were supposed to tell you guys to make sure that you know what you're in for when you start day trading. Love you guys. Let's get ready to go. Let's go here. All right, I'll be kind of quiet off and on. We're gonna be live on this Twitter space this morning, so just hang in there. So I'm going to be live on the Twitter space this morning, so I'm going to be on and off the mic, just letting you guys know. You know, use the word rational. It's one of our 5 indications that we look at to make sure things are stable. When markets are rational, you end up getting a pretty nice clean read on everything. So it's going to be kind of fun to trade today. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Sounds good. And then we
Oh yeah, absolutely. How you guys doing today, Elite Trader?
Hey, well, thanks for having us on. Doing pretty well. It's been,
All right, so today, let's see, it's Tuesday.
get a little retracement.
I look at the earnings.
Hang out for a little bit here.
BP. As much. I still got a cold, you guys, so wrestling that day. You know, it sounded to me like sniffling all morning. So I'm putting my DD bands right now. The first thing you have to do every single morning. So 413.4. And of course, when you talk about like in the market, anytime you're above monthly hedge pressure, the candle count rule, right? We always talk about that's kind of a neat thing that we talk about. It basically says every 3 days. If you're above monthly hedge pressure, you'll have 3 days up, 2 days down, right? That's what we call bull structure. It's a neat little thing. We've had a couple days down, so I'm hoping we hit a baseline at the bottom. I can kind of get a nice little confident long to the upside just to retrace. Like obviously things are trading down. Not super bullish at all anymore. Actually, I'm kind of very bearish, but I'm not going to be shorting because they're still above monthly hedge pressure. Those are my rules. Pretty standard, cut and dry. You know, the same thing every day. These bands are from the bot. We also have a red line coming up. Mine are marked. We've actually touched, wait, we've already touched this before, haven't we? No, never mind. We already touched this. Yeah, so let me delete that. That's it. When liquidity maps are going to come out, obviously DD be nice and strong and be good. Get a nice little long here. Be kind of nice. Rational day finally. Somebody said, I guess, LOL, Bailey Nathan, what were we all talking about? Oh, transparent. Well, I mean, you know, live trading, trader transparency. Let me talk about it. Account number on the screen. I'm doing a 10K to 100K challenge. I love doing these trading challenges. People like to watch me grow a small account. Every day a broker statement is posted for the entire this year of this account, right? So basically this challenge started beginning of this year. Just going to post the entire history. You'll see the stats, the win rate, everything, the account number to prove that it's real, every trade that I'm in, every order that I filled, everything. Literally, unless you're sitting here on my accountant's lap while I'm filing my taxes, you pretty much can see everything. So that's what we call full transparency. Some people are partially transparent where they show like the orders they're in and stuff. But there's the part that's usually missing is this right here. So you assume that if this isn't shown, it's a paper account because honestly, you know, it's illegal to display a paper account and pretend that it's real, like illegally, like jail time illegal, not just SEC illegal. Like that's if you're selling a product on the premise of false pretense. It's like telling someone a vitamin cures cancer. FTC will have a problem with that. And, yeah, so that's why I always say paper traders are all over the place. But if they don't give you some kind of designation that it's real, that's what I call full transparency. The final mark, the watermark that says this isn't a monopoly money account. This is real. Good morning. What's up, y'all? What's up? Possibly I'm allergic to cat dander. Yeah, or I'm allergic to the cold my girlfriend just had. That's what it was. But yeah, I'm also very allergic to cats too. We got 2 of them, so. That's right. Let's try Alexa. Rational day. Okay, hold on. I'm going to be on the space real quick. Looking at financial juice, there is no, nothing in the overnight, nothing Asia, nothing Europe that's really alarming. Maybe some little bit of Fed chatter. That's about it. So looking at the next thing, I look at the economic calendar, make sure there's nothing coming up in the day that I need to know about. So I'm just going to refresh that. And today's going to be a nice, quiet, light day here as well. Powell's going to talk. That's probably the only catalyst we're going to see. And that's coming up at, looks like it says 11:40 this morning. So Make sure that's my time. Yeah, it's 11:40 my time. I'm in Central, so that's pretty much it. And then I look at all the pre-checks and rocket security. We have 5 things we look at. 3 of them we can do pre-market. One of them are DD bands, which is a thing that talks about when futures move too far, you start to get a little additional margin calling. We had that yesterday. It's big choppy day yesterday was from that. Today we're opening smack down in the middle of the range. These are my favorite kind of trading days. They're the easier trading days to deal with because the market is very rational. Your indications work a little better. Things aren't delayed. It's going to be a little easier. And the one hiccup we have today is that the VIX has been beginning to climb. And in positional data starting to shift a little bit, hinting that in a month from now, we're going to turn around to have another bear cycle if the market doesn't find some more buyers. So the VIX is the only thing that's concerning me is VIX futures are consolidating and trading higher. Additional pressure on the VIX can start to cause unusual breaks in volatility in the market. But other than that, I'm going to wake up in the mornings, do my pre-market checks. So far, everything's good despite the warnings, and I'm going to just trade off the levels I see. So we're going to run our liquidity maps right at market open. And then from there, I'm going to see if there are buyers and sellers, and I'm just going to kind of join them on a tiny long if I find it. Yo, what's up, New Age? Come on up, man. This is my this is my buddy Cruz. Cruz, introduce yourself. Things are looking kind of good. Oh, let me get the chat up here, you guys. What's up? What's up? Yeah, Cruz is out here. Yeah, got my buddy Cruz up here on the panel. Trying to really just like rotate a lot of my friends and a lot of cool speakers and a lot of people that, you know, undiscovered or newer talent that, you know, I really think that I think are awesome and I want other people to learn about. So if you guys are out there and y'all want to be on Twitter Spaces, y'all want to get yourself a voice in a podcast, maybe you have a room where you have yourself a service, I'd love to, you know, if you show me your stuff and you show me you do what you're doing, you know, like Justin right here. Justin is a trader. Justin sends these burger statement all the time just because he wants to show me his performance just because he's like, hey, I'm a real trader too, by the way, check it out. And it's neat to meet y'all. And if everybody does, I always love introducing people that are real to other people that are real. So just feel free to reach out. Yeah, Justin straight up, he's like, hey, here's my statement. I didn't even ask. I was like, dude, that's dope. Appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to look for liquidity maps right at the open. If DD comes in half or greater, I'm going to look for the upper band and touch for the lower band, which means a dip to a run would be kind of nice. Candle count rule means if we're above monthly hedge pressure, which we'll see in about 4 minutes, if that does come out to be okay. Candle count rule usually on average on the daily candles. By the way, if you haven't checked out Rocket Security yet, make sure you go here. We're doing this cool extended trial thing. It's $35 for 3 months for the $200 a month package. So on the daily candle, usually we'll have 3 candles up for every 1 candle down. I'm sorry, 3 candles up for every 2 candles down in a bull structure market, about 50-50 in a bear. So usually, you know, having like however many red days, I think I had 2 in a row, right? So you start to think that it's time, or 3 in a row, it's statistically time for me to find a long. Now, again, if I hit hedge pressure and lose, then I'm out, and that can end the streak, but this is day 9 of the streak, which is good. Been trading very cautiously. My one losing trade was, I made a couple of them actually, was Friday, and that was trading while irrational, while outside of the bands and other things came up. So because of that, it just got to the wrong heavy position at the wrong time. I am trading S&P futures and NASDAQ futures, so I'm trading broad index products so you guys can see something that's available to everybody. Remember, hedge pressure breaks are irrational. If I lose one by more than a strike, I'm out for good. So having all the pre-market checks we're looking at. This is what everybody knows. This is the problem today. 20.3, bottom left. That VIX triple B, that's a number that can cause unusual volatility when we break through. VIX futures is a line today. I want everybody to make sure you reiterate that, especially in Discord chat. VIX triple B is the thing to watch. That is the thing to watch. Unusual market can come from that. Unusual market always just tells me I need to bet small, or thought I might better change something different. So my snippet tool is not snipping that. Okay, we'll just say that right here. That number is 20.3. Everybody know that today. So a break of that could cause a head trigger break or something unusual. Of 2 minutes of markets open. No flags today. No earnings today. No news in the morning. Nothing crazy is happening. Everything is nice and stable. So I'm going to run a liquidity map play right out the door. Market is flat. So you can tell, like, while futures are flat, the market's going to be flat. Resilience is going to be even extra sensitive. So when the stock market futures are flat, you come in resilience. Resilience is going to show that pure boost of the stock. So if resilience is positive, I'm going to be even more inclined to be along. And so... Yep. Yeah, so if you guys head over to the Matt account, the blue sunglasses over to the right, there is a tweet that was posted. There's a link to my live YouTube stream. So anything that we're talking about here, I'll try to bring it up live on the charts. We are demonstrating Rocket Scooter, which is our risk management platform. I am doing live trading. I'm doing a live trading challenge, 10K to 100K, fully transparent with the account numbers shown to prove it's not monopoly money. So if you guys ever want to see a transparent day trader, slug it out. It's the way to go. And we're going to be getting live in about 1 minute. I'll be making some trades. I'm on a 8-day streak on day 8 of the challenge. I haven't lost a day yet. So I'm trading S&P and NASDAQ futures, just a broad index product that makes it relatable to everybody. We're going to get going just now. So head over there and check it out. And I'm going to pass the mic on over. In two minutes, I'll pop in with some numbers to see what the market's doing. So my initial thought is I'm looking to get a long right out the door off of some nice support with buyers. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a bull long up or some kind of long up where I can find some kind of justification to grab it off of a hedge pressure. So we're going to see what calcs we get right out the door. Nice flat day, rational day on the market futures. So we'll see how that works. But I'm going to be very careful because today everybody needs to keep an eye on VIX futures. 20.3 is a key level, and breaking 20.3 on VIX futures can cause additional crazy volatility today. So you can keep an eyeball on that one. There's a whole calculation we teach on that one, but just know it's like if you're standing on something thin and it breaks, you just kind of fall through with no support. So be very careful on that level. Okay, looks like, guys. Okay, so we are in candle count roll 3 to 2. So I'm gonna, oh, okay, good. Okay, is resilience positive? Oh, yeah, cool. Right at the bottom. Okay, outside the redistribution zone, and if resilience is positive outside the redistribution zone, then it wants to come here to half gap. So there is no support other than half gap. So this is a really nice long out from here to here. So the interesting thought is the risk to reward is going to be really tight here. And I don't know if I like what I see because we're outside the redistribution zone. Remember, resiliences are positive, which is good. It means that it wants to go up here at some point. So the risk to reward is really long. So if I long and I'm upside down, it's a bounce of a hedge pressure. So let's go ahead and it breaks to the open. Candle right there. It's a bear short up. So gosh, this is such a small tight play. Bear short up is monthly to bear. So there is no long of anything other than hedge pressure at the bottom. Yellow to blue. Yellow to blue. So that's the scary part. So this would be the perfect trade today. The question is, should I wait for that? If we hit monthly hedge pressure, that is like a long and strong all in kind of thing. If we start to break and we lose that VIX, this can get really gross. So monthly hedge pressure resilience, as you see, this line right here, -3, -2 means if we get there, I don't expect it to break. This could be a catastrophic sell-off day. I'm going to hold my thought. Any long off 49.5 will go to here. This is a tough one. Things are looking good, so I don't have any reason to fear this. But I do know if I get long here, I'm kind of stuck. I have to double down to get any retracement play off of here to break even. So there is no sign too short other than bear short up would be a short off of hedge pressure there. And if this resilience goes negative when we get there, then I'm going to be keen to want to take that short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit out. The Russell is trading a little nastier. So I'm gonna hold out on this one. The Russell is showing itself to have a little bit signs of weakness. So I think for now, I'm gonna let that be a cue for me to just not play off of this. I do want to catch that hedge pressure. I'm gonna choose to catch the lower entry point here. So I personally am gonna choose to let that happen. So no irrationality. As soon as that DD number comes in, we're gonna take a look and see what that gives me. He goes, yeah, so we're opening, thanks Ashton. We're opening with mixed signals today on one thing. The volatility thing is the only thing that's really scaring me, and the Russell is selling off pretty hard. So the SPY is coming up with the support at 407.5 at monthly hedge pressure. Resilience is strong. DD is strong. So all of our stuff is strong, bullish, long, but my entry point is not going to come until a lower. I'm going to get that 407.5 entry on SPY monthly. Maybe a possible small entry here I thought about on the SPY, but the Russell's kind of scaring me out of it because a little bit of opening selling there, and resilience is opening strong, which is our arbitrage, shows how strong the S&P is. There are all bull signals, and I'm still feeling cautious. So I think I'd love ideally to get a long off of that 407.5 at the bottom with SPY, and of course 410.5 above is liquidity pocket. So our range is between those two levels today, and we calculate all of these with Rocket Scooter, and liquidity map is something we use to calculate buyers and sellers where they're at, and of course hedge pressure is where the hedging against market maker options will be. So that's our technologies. And sorry I have a cold, you guys. All right, guys, I think I'm going to let it fall. I'm not going to do it. Powell is talking as well. Yeah, so let it pull back. Let it pull back. That's what I'm doing. Good morning, guys. Feel free to like that stream. That knowledge bomb's coming through all day long. If you have not checked out the extended trial, okay? Rocket Scooter extended trial. We have a $200 a month full package for our platform. What our platform does is show you where the bull and bear positions are in the stock market. So anything you can put in here, let's go ahead and look for any kind of bear setups just in case you want to find some stocks are pulling back. You can find in liquidity map is a combination of a bunch of tools. Shows you where buyers and sellers are in the stock market, essentially where real bulls and real bears are on the institutional side. Anything you type in, if you want me to run a ticker of your choice, give it to me, I'll run it here. Hedge pressure is the hedging against market maker options, weekly options. This is hedging against market maker options on monthly options. So the combination of liquidity map gives me a little guidebook, and I come here and it tells me, it just is a reminder where I can bounce pressures at. BRSU tells me that I'm looking for positioning in between these two hedge pressures. Today's the day between hedge pressures, right? So there is a big wide range, and that scary volatility. This is what scared me today when I saw the Russell started selling. This could be a crash day, and be very careful today, everybody. Yo, what's up, machine? What's up, dude? Is that you? Is that you, Joel? And right here, see this? This is the scary part. That is the scary part. I am not going to do anything here just yet, right? When the market opened and these were flat and the Russell started selling, I got a little worried. Remember, any of the three that go through the irrational is the scary part. So what I'm going to do today is my first scalp is going to be futures based on these DD bounces as we come through. The DD is 0.75, so it tells me if you open in the middle, it wants to touch the upper band before the lower band. So that's the only saving grace that I have to maybe try to take something. There is that old red line that I'm looking for support. And obviously I should, I'm just trying to like trade a little carefully. I should get in on a small long here. But Powell is talking, so I'm going to be very careful. This is pretty good for SPY. And that, again, resilience is very much bouncing at 0. And resilience is a leading indicator, so I want you guys to know when markets are rational. It's a rational market, resilience is leading. It's negative. You see the bottom left, SPY is negative. It's not long and strong for me to want to take a pretty good thing, so we need those stocks to really showcase that first, right? And there's that probably a little bounce from there. The triple B bounce, you see that volatility that we have that has to do with that triple B. There's a whole equation on this. It's very rare that you'll interact with that throughout the month, but when you start interacting with it, it's one of the highest volatility pivots there are. So I think I'm just kind of scaring myself out of the trade because we're on that bounce there. You see how there's really sharp pivots and sharp candles, so I'm going to have a whole lesson I teach on this. This has to do with pre-baked in volatility and VIX futures, the whole advanced concept. And the thing is, I say, is just when you're above that line, just be careful. When you're below that line, things are safe. So this is too much riding 0 that I'm not really too excited about that. So I'd like to see a trade somewhere in here. But I'm like, do I want to long? This is the only really long entry that we do have from here. And res needs to stay really strong, and that it's fighting a little bit. I don't necessarily like it. Plus the hedge pressure run is just too small. So maybe a scalp from here to here, maybe, right? That is possible. But the R&R is just so small, right? It's not even a full point. So 408.9, this is 0.6 to 1. If y'all see why I don't take the trade whenever it's like that, that's probably why. You know, R&R is just really small. Yeah, so give me some tickers you guys want to look at this morning. Oh, Bailey said, oh, you were joking. You're for sure. This is Archie. Yo, what up, Archie? Oh, man. Okay, guys. Okay, do me a favor. While we're waiting, go to that like button. Click that like button. Click it really hard. Like, I'm talking like super hard. Like, click it with passion. Click it with romance. Click it with enthusiasm. Click it or ticket. That's the thing they say on the billboards in Texas. If you don't buckle up, you get a ticket. Have you seen that? Click it or ticket. Okay. So any of y'all doing anything today? Like I said, the scalp is there, the potential's there, but this is right on the edge. I think I'm gonna wait till Powell starts talking to you to catalyst. This was the textbook trade, right? This is the one I said if there was a trade, the R&R just isn't there for me to take it. I'd rather not disrupt the streak for something that's really small. And while resilience is a leading indicator, staying above 0 pretty much the entire time, minus a couple of bips right over here. Bips, couple of ticks right over here. That was it. Hedge pressure breaks are about like 11% of the time in the S&P when rational. So very small probability we break, and even so, there was resistance there and then liquidity pocket there. There's really no chance today that I see that we're going up. But what I'd like to do is let the market fall, but because you can see the tiebreaker at white is now negative, this is resistance. So this is likely a short setup from here, which I don't like. Hedge pressure breaks are rare because you catalyze the market, but you got two resistances here. So it's kind of like you might have some volatile moves there. Any resistance here coming down because res is less than 0 is bad. So remember, it's still positive, so I'm not shorting this at all. But there is resistance in this direction, this V. So my ideal trade is to wait, to let it fall and capture this to go up. But you can see this monthly hedge pressure is telling me the tiebreaker here. If this is 0 or negative, right now it's 2.9. It's almost saying that when we get there, it's probably going to be -2, so it might break. This is the scary part today. You might have what I call volatility explosion. These are rare things that happen about once a month or greater on that frequency. Is that all data is barely on the edge. Like the market's on the edge of crashing right now. It literally is on the edge of collapsing. This resilience is what's hanging in there. Very, 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 and it's not collapsing on a crash, it's collapsing on a volatility explosion, which could be a very, very, very nasty day today. So the alarms are as follows. So rational, we're good. DD greater than half, we're good. Resilience, we're good, but it's literally hanging at 0 on a flat market. The rule is this will be support. This will be support if this white number is greater than 0. That's the rule. So here, let me see my pen. Over here, my pen rolling apart. So this is all let me draw what I'm expecting, okay? The R&R sucks. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. You think my vocabulary and vernacular is a bit too complicated for the layman? So somebody said, yeah. No, I'm reading chat. MS is right. I mean, it's hard to say. I every time somebody asks me, you know, explain hedge pressure, I always tell myself, let me try to explain it simpler than the last time. So I'm struggling more and more and more to create ways to or stressing on like trying harder to create ways to explain it. So imagine when we didn't have liquidity map with the handout, right? So yeah, if you guys want to take a look, I actually have on my stream right now, just peek in for a hot second. I'll have that liquidity map drawing like front and center on the screen. You can kind of see what I'm talking about, and it's actually pretty cool. So if you guys want to just pop on over to the Matt account, like up here at the panels, and then just pop in the stream and I'll show you guys that. But yeah, I'm not seeing much today that I'm gonna touch and trade. This is one of those days that's just not giving a great solid solid freedom for. So I'm gonna look for some short plays just in case I can see something that maybe is gonna pull the market down. So keep the excitement rolling there. Are you guys doing anything? Anyone else? Ashton, Adam, Jaguar, ETA, ETF, New Age. Y'all got any plays up? So in this type of trading environment, this is what typically is a good setup of a trade, is to actually sell calls in the bull side, to bet that we don't break in the bull side. So the kind of trade a lot of people do here, and I know Ash and his group tend to do this, is right. The R&R sucks. You guys remember that? That's what we're talking about. So what people will normally do is they will bet that we don't break through all this and sell calls on the bull side. This is kind of like the way to go. So R&R just sucks, right? I know it's hard to resilience can predict a hedge pressure break. I have a video on that. Right now, resilience is slightly trying to predict hedge pressure break. Yes. So, but the thing is, even if you break hedge pressure, you've got very limited upside, right? So resilience in a rational market outranks hedge pressure. The chance of hedge pressure break is actually higher than the market selling off. So if I were to make a prediction right now, resilience does predict hedge pressure break more often than it doesn't. So the market goes to here, but then that's it. But DD says it can touch the upper band for the lower band. It doesn't guarantee it will touch either band though. You have resistance here and liquidity pocket here. So because there's just so many different types, there's like, right? There's 2, 3 bursts. And the fact that VIX is very close to that break point, I'm just not liking what I see. Okay, let's take a look at any, just to see if there's any. Now again, the stocks, the DD is becoming weaker and weaker. So let's see if we can't find any bear setups from the scanner. So you can actually push all these buttons here, load up any bear setups on the scanner, and liquidity map is going to show me, like, I can search for different ones that I want. What are some nice bear scout plays, like a BLD, right? So I can come in here, or a BRSU, and find ones that are like right on monthly hedge pressure. So if I do this, I type in those 4 bear setups, and I come here and I put like Amazon, right? It's one that's right on the edge of that yellow, right? So Amazon monthly hedge pressure break. So right now we have some mega caps threatening downside, right? So this could actually collapse the market. It's a warning sign today. You have some mega caps starting to sell. This is scary, right? You break Amazon more than a strike. This is bad news, right? Bad news. Powell, I think they're right of it. Yeah. Just be careful. Watch Amazon, y'all. These are some mega caps breaking monthly hedge first is a big deal. Y'all see this? Just be careful here, right? Watch these. But I think everything's waiting for Powell to speak. When Powell speaks, we're probably going to get something like that, okay? So this is like, right now, the moment for Powell speaks is probably going to be a Hail Mary long to sell, to scalp, and I'm not going to short it. Like, the market's just wanting to absorb that. There's going to be dovish tones. No way Powell's going to become more hawkish and more aggressive. It's going to be likely taper to zero. Any hedge pressure breaks will be great. Like, just be very careful. I think that's all that we're seeing now is everything's waiting for Powell. It's really the only thing that can happen today. I just wish I had a pivot to long off of that I liked. What does mean reversion short up? MR just means liquidity pocket. That's slow approaching it, yeah. So let's keep an eyeball on here. What I think is Powell's going to talk, and that's going to be a bull catalyst. So, I mean, that's where I'm thinking. All signs are bullish. Ooh, Raz, look at that Raz. Okay. Where's the spy? Where's the spy? Oh, that's what I want to see. Should I just risk it? That's pretty strong. Whatever. I don't care. I'm going to take it because there's no way Powell's going to say anything bad. Resilience is strong and becoming even longer. Look at this resilience run. This is good. I like it. Whatever. I'm going to go 7. Fuck it. I'm going to trade it to liquidity pocket. Now I'm going to let Powell kick me there. I'm going to take that risk. I like resilience going positive when we're low. This is arbitrage. Remember when we say resilience is leading? I like to see resilience move really quick in a rational market when the S&P is going nowhere. That's what I like. The arbitrage, remember, in rational markets, resilience leads. This is one of those, when the opportunity arises, I change my tone. The R&R sucks, but resilience can predict hedge pressure breaks. And we're getting a nice strong resistance off of triple BQ. VIX. So this right here, this level right here on VIX futures, I'm trying to cover my platform. My eye is on this like a hawk. These are February. I heard somebody just put this right here. So VIX futures right here. This rejection of this is what I'm paying attention to today. This. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in half my position, about 7. I'm going to double down at some point. As long as rest says negative, then anything down here is support, at least to come back to the upside. Now the R&R sucks, so I'm only putting in half of my position, nothing too big, but this is nice, and this is really nice. Oh, Joel's gonna give you a look. I like what I see. I do like what I see. Man, I'm going to tell you. One more. You have to be very careful today on Amazon. DD's positive. I mean, all the signs are good for a burp. So I'm going to take the bet. Wall Street's positioned for good news. It's exactly what they're positioned for. But the fact that it's trying to trade now, it's like you tell yourself somebody knows something you don't know. Yeah. John, I think that was really smart of you. I think if I were in your boat, I probably would have done the same thing, bro. John. Yeah, because John understands. He's like, no way, Jose. Resilience is really strong, so the market's going to have a hiccup right there and have a hard time moving. I know seller exhaustion signs around 4.8, 4.10. Also some heavy hidden buying. Hopefully genuine buyers, not sellers closing out. Yeah. How come monthly hedge pressure not showing on is showing on your app? How come it's showing? Well, that's it's supposed to show. It's definitely supposed to show. Oh, it's not showing? For which ticker? Amazon breaking one strike. Oh shit. All right, yeah. Yeah, we had talked about Amazon this morning, by the way. Amazon is breaking its monthly hedge pressure and it's causing a little unusual volatility. Now that 99 break on Amazon could be a warning sign. So that's kind of what front and center. Just seeing if there's any additional volatility. Now I'm going to tell you guys something. I just loaded a long position. I'm going to take a fundamental bet that Powell's going to maintain a dovish stance. I'll maybe go into that in just a little bit. But keep an eye on Amazon and really just as a key indication of stocks that might not be looking so great. I think everybody hit it this morning. I think that all eyes are just waiting on Powell. And what I think Powell is going to say, the expected thing, which is a non-hawkish stance, right? No change. The market's probably going to pop really hard, and I'm going to close my long at the peak and then just let it settle out. So I don't think anything's going to happen until really he starts talking. And I'll give a little quickie thesis, maybe the 1 minute spiel. So it's 11. What? This is 11:40. So we have some time for that to happen. So, you know, Powell has been, you know, every month we do this analysis, especially on the stream, and we love to do it, where we can actually very easily forecast, probably even better than the futures, Fed fund futures can, what Powell's going to do. Is he going to be more hawkish or more dovish? And so Powell's very transparent that he's looking into the labor market. We actually look at JOLTS, volatility. We look at job openings, right? So and unemployment filings, and we could piece those together and make a very good prediction of inflation based on that being the cause of inflation, right? Wages. So every month we almost predicted, well, actually we have predicted since I think last July, every month what Powell said he's going to do. And the forecast right now is that this meeting is going to be 25 or probably zero. He's likely going to stop raising rates for a while until the summer. And because they say that they don't want to crash the stock market, right? And then the Fed, traditionally they teach you when the Fed doesn't care about the stock market. Well, that couldn't be more than the truth. I mean, that could be farther from the truth in this environment. Because if Powell crashes the stock market accidentally through quantitative tightening and rate hikes, and we just tighten too much and market crashes, everyone gets laid off in a period of inflation. And that is what we call stagflation. And that's where your Great Depression will end of 2023 will start there. And the Fed will have to turn around and can bail us out at 100 times the weight on their shoulders than holding assets at the high of the market. It'd be really silly and serve no purpose for them to plunge the world to a 10-year economic disaster, right? I mean, it's literally that bad if they crash the stock market by tightening too much. And so the full effects of QT aren't necessarily realized in the market. He said that in the last press conference. And so it doesn't make sense going into we've been in QE since 2011? I can't remember. It's almost a decade plus. And so having a new environment post-COVID world with QT, there's no way he's going to over tighten and raise rates aggressively into that unknown void. What they're likely going to do is, raise rates just a little bit, which is what they did to induce layoffs, which makes wages come down, inflation comes down. And Powell has beautifully driven the boat and raised rates exactly the right amount to force every company to lay off 5 or 10% of its workforce. That's enough to kill the inflation that COVID caused, which laid off 100% of the workforce over the course of a month. So Powell's hand has been, beautifully conducting this orchestra. It's time for them to stop raising rates and let the market stabilize a few cycles of earnings. So he even said, the full effects of QT aren't realized. If you don't understand, that's the most important thing from the last press conference. He's literally telling you, likely, I'm going to stop raising rates until that's realized. Because if they can't tighten into that full effect where Wall Street is pricing in the unknown parts of QT, which is going to essentially work its way in through the summer. So I'm going to predict that we have 0 rate hike this meeting, and 0 rate hike next meeting, and 0 rate hike next meeting. And if we go through a couple rounds of earnings with no problems and the market's not collapsing, he's going to start raising rates a second time and more aggressively. And that's where we're going to see that. And like I said, we could flatten out on rate hikes until the summer. And that's where my belief is. So there's no way he's going to come in and try to shock the stock market. Normally the Fed is not necessarily paying attention to the stock market, but the only thing that will induce layoffs at this point is a company's stock crashing, which is what caused that to happen to begin with. So you're probably going to see a very, very Fed hands off for a while, and I think that's my prediction. So when we're going into an event like now where Powell's talking, there's no way I'm going to bet that he's going to wake up and decide to shock the stock market. There's no incentive for them to do that, especially in QT. If you believe the Fed is acting on their own self-interest in QT, they're letting assets roll off their balance sheet. So they're not necessarily, buying the dip and are trying to get it. They're not trying to induce a position for themselves. They're really trying to keep the market healthy and remove risk from the table. So. Yo, what's up, Vegas? Morning, girl. Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. Vegas buying puts in Amazon. It's a good trade. When does JP come on? It says 11:40, Kevin. I think it's Central. So that's like lunchtime, dude. That's a while away. I don't like this. Amazon breaking one strike. Thanks for reminding me, Sam. Bartending, Soxel. Okay, let's look at Soxel on the desktop. If something's not showing, you can always reset your settings. You can go to there's a default. You're at the top. Okay. Yeah.
At this time, I feel like the question is, we get that 25 point rate hike, we get through this season of earnings, and then we see kind of how the market reacts to both of those. Then we have the next question. There could be one more in my mind, one more 25. I think that's kind of where they max out for the moment, but I think we're in pretty similar boats.
Yeah, I actually your sentiments is great. I like that because and really the contingency for 25 to 0 is we do have to get through earnings. So essentially earnings is the big catalyst, right? So if we get through earnings and the market is just outright collapsing, then they're going to put it to 0. The futures are pricing in almost a guaranteed 25, which is great. So if you guys are understanding that the basis point rate hike change is an addition. So when you hear people say we raised a point or raised half a point or raised a quarter of a point, it was a quarter of a point last time and a quarter of a point this time. That's the change. So rates are still going up, but they're going up the same amount. So they're tapering off in how much they're raising them is what Gav is saying. So when I say 0, it doesn't mean rates are 0. It means rates won't go up or down. They'll stay the same. And I think, Gav, you're right, because when they go into seeing what the market's doing, if the market's stable, they're going to maintain the course. If the market's doing bad, they're going to pull back. If the market's doing great, they're going to increase the afterburners. And we call that the bad news is good news environment. So the bad news is good news environment is that if market, Fed wants to raise rates and initiate QT. If the market is resilient, can handle it, rallying to all-time highs when there's inflation post-COVID, then the Fed's going to turn on those rate hikes really rapidly. But the market starts looking bad, they're going to dial back. So when it's kind of like when good economic data comes out, Wall Street doesn't like that as far as being bullish in the short term or medium term, because they think the Fed's going to, aggressively, raise. And I always use the metaphor of like you get like a new Lambo, right? And you're speeding down the freeway and you'll see how fast it goes, and you're driving until the steering wheel starts shaking, and then you pull back. You're like, okay, I'm going too fast. I don't want the car to fall apart. And so he's speeding on the rate hikes until the steering wheel starts to shake, and then going to pull back. So as long as we get like good economic data, like good jobs data and wages are coming down, inflation's in control, that's almost like license to speed up the car. And if the market starts looking bad, it's licensed for him to tail back. So, the only real catalyst now, besides, Chinese weather balloons, I guess, is going to be earnings. We get through the rest of earnings. We've gone through most of the majors, and that's really kind of it. Inflation's predictably stable, jobs market's stable, everything's kind of stabilized. So the fear is that when the market's stable, the Fed is going to start dialing up and go faster. But with QT, effects on the horizon to increase, it's an uncertainty. So it's kind of like you're speeding the Lambo and you slow down and you see ice on the road ahead. So you're not going to speed up until you can handle the ice. So probably going to want to test and see if the market can hold through that. Now, I think you're 100% right. If earnings come through and for some reason, if the next couple of weeks collapse the stock market, you'll see a zero to keep it from crashing. If the next couple of weeks hold the market steady, then it'll probably stay at 25, right? And then taper off until the summer. And I'll tell you my next prediction of the summer is if the market can stabilize and rally in the summer, the stock market, right, and the jobs market stays healthy and we don't get these crazy inflation effects come back, you'll start to see the Fed turn on aggressive rate hikes. I'm talking a point to 2 points a pop. We've seen that in the 80s, where 82 to 84 had a similar, the economic situation was different, but had a similar thing where rates were raised aggressively into a rally, and Wall Street didn't even care. And you'd have like a dip on that day and it continued to rally. So I think the idea is that Powell is driving this car to a place where he wants to handle the slippery road and not crash the car and kill the jobs market. But at the same time, they still need to be aggressive. So he's trying to find the balance where he can be aggressive with rate hikes to basically kill the post-COVID, short squeeze, I call like the stupid risk, where people are just investing in anything at the high, but they also don't want to collapse the market. So he wants to be as aggressive as he can without collapsing the market, is what I'm trying to say. So the ideal situation is market is rallying while we're getting rate hikes. And that has happened before if you study past Fed history. And if you want to know the most boring thing in the world, study past history of the Fed, because even Powell himself says he likes to keep in his pocket notes that previous Fed chair people took, their actions they took, to study what they did. He's a big fan of the past and looking at like the techniques and things they did to drive the economy. It's like an art form. And when you study what past chair people did, it's kind of cool to see, if you like to play chess, how they maneuver everything to get what they want. And if you piece it together and solve the puzzle, it's kind of like putting like that cool crossword puzzle answer you couldn't find. This time, Powell was, if you want to put the line item elevator pitch and your friends are talking about raising rates and inflation, you literally say, Powell tried to raise rates just enough so that companies will lay off 5 to 10% of their workforce, so that wages would come down, because you lay people off when wages were really high. All he wanted to do was induce a tiny little bit of layoffs, but not too much to crash the market. Imagine that's the solution to the puzzle. It's exactly their reason. That's why they did that. Scare the market a little bit, lay off people that were getting $300,000 a year to watch Netflix for a living, and show up to a Zoom call twice a month. Companies realize that, post-COVID stupidity, which is that, everyone can work from home and everyone's silent, quiet quitting and stuff and not really working and all this. And it really shook companies out of that mentality to say, okay, let's get efficient. And that's really what the downturn in the market did. And that efficiency is always great. You have free cash flow in a company always improves the bottom line. So, imagine a chairperson with all the abilities to do stuff. Your meetings behind closed doors are, all right, we need to induce some layoffs. Well, they're not going to come out and tell you that. Well, that sounds morbid. You're gonna, people are gonna storm the streets with pitchforks and torches. Oh, what? He's trying to get me to lose my job. Well, but for the greater good, right? And that's really what they're trying to do. They know companies will lay off the inefficient workers, and it slaps sense into people and creates that job demand where there's fewer jobs and people are going to want to go. Instead of one person post-COVID, if you think about it, I'm going to end this big long speech, but like post-COVID, right? Imagine you had 10 shipping yards that need to ship stuff and one truck driver, is the brave soul who wants to say, I don't care if I die of COVID, I need to feed my family. The first person out there now can say, you pay me what I want for the job. There's 10 of you and one of me. Supply and demand, baby. I want 10 times what you pay because there's 10 of y'all and one of me. And that's what wage inflation, that's where inflation came from, that mechanic. As people trickled back into work over the course of the next day when everything opened up over the next couple of years. And sometimes some of you maybe in the audience are actually in the audience now because you're still working from home. This is the mechanic that caused inflation, all of us. So when you solve the puzzle, and as morbid as it sounds, the Fed's actual goal was to induce layoffs because that was the cause of inflation. Well, one of the major causes was shortages of materials, and they call it cost push inflation. But when you solve the puzzle, it's neat because as a trader, you want to be able to understand the real motivating force of what is going to move his hand, right, the next time he does something. And if you know what he's trying to do is control wages, then you're just listening for that part of his speech. You're not listening to all the other things and what the CNBC or the Bloombergs are talking about on the surface, which is reiterating what he's saying. You're looking for the piece of the puzzle that's missing. Does Powell want to crash the stock market? Absolutely not, right? Because that's going to create a worse problem for them to solve. And of course, they don't want to create more work for themselves. And they're not going to win the trade either because they're clearly not shorting anything, right? So there's no incentive for them to do anything bad. So you can kind of piece together, and as a trader, even though I'm always talking technicals or even using liquidity maps or rocket stuff, having a good fundamental thesis like that to see beyond what's on the surface is the sign of a better trader than the average Joe. So, even with that, that's what I'm just going to leave off on that, is that we know that Powell is not going to do anything to jolt the stock market in the middle of earnings season when QT is on the horizon. And that's kind of where we're going with this. And as long as you start to see that wage inflation subside, right, then everything's going to be stable in general. And that's kind of what his goal was. You get inflation in control and then let QT take over. And then that's the real puzzle. Are we in a recession after that? We're going to talk about quarter 3, quarter 4 when the real decisions are made. So anywho, that's, we teach class on how to build fundamental thesis like that and how to build relationships and the actual fundamental stuff. And trying to make it a little cooler than just, your textbook level surface stuff. So anyways, hey, New Age, you make any trades right now? Are you guys doing anything? Or Jaguar paper? Y'all do anything? Y'all was watching or waiting for Powell?
I'll just quickly add.
Google BLU. Ooh, let's see.
6.39%. So from a trade standpoint, ITB.
Let's add to it. I like to see things with Google BLU.
I think maybe we have seen the hyperbolic top, the parabolic top reached a 52-week high last week in home construction.
I added to my long.
It continues to slip, falling from 73 to 69 in the past 3 days. More pressure today, and all of these home builders, including DR Horton, DHI, Toll Brothers, Multi Homes, Lennar, are all acting very, very weak. So, if we're seeing a trend change here, and the rates start to move higher on expectation.
All right, everybody. If you want to take a little bit of a pause here, so Rocket Secure, we have this $199 a month subscription for all of our data feeds and things to come out. We're about to get futures data on the platform as well. But we have this cool thing called the extended trial. We want everybody, if you haven't done it, to do it. It's going to go through our 6-week program, and it's going to be, instead of $199 a month, it's only going to be $35 a month for full access to the platform, all the training, all the stuff that we do. But you can test it out and trial it for 3 months at that very ridiculously low price. We want to get people in to check out the program. We want to get a huge batch of folks. I mean, we must have had 20 people sign up in this last week for it. It is a huge effort. Ash and I are building this for you guys. And we want to get a very substantial group of people in committed for the 3 months. So instead of you guys paying $99 a month for 3 months, or $199 a month for 3 months, like $600, we're wanting it to be $100 ish for the whole program, just so you guys can test it out and trial it with us. So want you to all check it out. If you have not taken the plunge in Rocket Scooter, that will lock you, what we call locking you in. So any rates or discounts or deals we have, you also will grandfather anything in for life that we do in case prices do go up, which they will. We're announcing new packages today. And so if like currently, it's a certain price and we say, this deal ends next week and you're in the extended trial for 3 months, you can use that deal on month four. So you can lock that in. We want you guys to check out the extended trial. I posted a link in the chat. And you can join the full Rocket Scooter program. You can go through my training on futures and options and Ashton's training on options and stocks, all simultaneously for a 3-month period. You can take your time. You can go slow, and no rush for you to complete the program. You could go with this day by day as we get through one lesson at a time. So if you guys take that and sign up for it, we'd love for you to check it out. And we're gonna get started. Not this Monday. We're getting started this Monday on the package, the program. There's a big breakout on Google. Google broke 103.5. I just tweeted about it. It came up on the Rocket Scooter BLU breakout scanner. So I'm looking at this and we're talking about. I actually, when Google started moving, I added more to my S&P long. I'm just waiting for Powell to talk, but keep an eye out. Google, Amazon, some of the big hitters are trying to move. So interesting to see that Google play. 103.50 is hedge pressure on Google. So that nice little burp was good to see. So we'll see if other stocks follow. Amazon was the one that was on our radar looking bad. I heard Vegas, they should take some puts in that. That's amazing. Yeah, because that 100 break is a monthly hedge pressure break. And monthly is on monthly scale. So you're talking the February 17th expiration. Anytime you break through monthly hedge pressure, you always have to be concerned that the appetite for that particular thing has become overwhelmingly bearish all of a sudden. So monthly hedge breaks are very uncommon. So Google breaking up through hedge pressure on weekly options, Amazon breaking down a monthly hedge pressure on monthly options. So it's kind of like you're getting a lot of up and down, and people are just pre-positioning, I think, for Powell to talk. If I were to take a stick my thumb in the air and try to guess where the wind's blowing, I really do think that the market is trying to stabilize and go up from here going into Powell. But that Amazon is something to watch. So that's a good play, Vegas, if you're in that. But that's been front and center on my screen for a little bit. So Google up, Amazon down, right? It's pretty much why the market's kind of going nowhere. Everybody's all over the place today. Where's the affiliate?
Got it, man. Yeah, one more time. So we're gonna do about 7 more minutes with our friends, and then I've got a few more people that are coming up for that 10:30 to 11 a.m. area. So if you haven't already checked it out, there's tweets at the top for y'all to check out. And again, it's just access to the same exact service that we're using to map out hedge pressure. So again, this shows me very helpfully actually today that hedge pressure was at 409.5. Read that out this morning. I don't know if y'all have been looking at SPY, but if you are looking on a shorter time frame, I'm often on the 1 minute on Rocket Scooter, but you don't need to be on something that small of a time frame. You can go
Here, look. Here, changes look pretty good. Well, it's going to be kind of nice and boring. Looks like I only made trade. Hopefully, I'm looking for it to go. I mean, things are stable. Hopefully, we stay in there. Like I said, I think that we're not going to break through, but we possibly could. I mean, resiliences are strong. Everything's strong. This might as well stay. I'm probably stay bullish, so. Who knows? Ooh. Ooh, getting that nasty. That res is still positive. We're still rational. There's no head pressure breaks. QQQ. We're at triple B. This is that final pivot, 20.3. I'll get squeezed out if it breaks through. There's that triple B move I talked about this morning. S&P pushing for lower lows. That's going to be it. Oh my goodness. So we might get squeezed. Have a market collapse today. Do not like it. So this is the pivot. If there is one, it is here. There's that red line again from yesterday on SPY. This comes from S&P futures. This is where action comes play. I know I deleted this. This is that yesterday. We had that pivot off of that red line right here. And ooh, what do I want to do? Ooh. Oh, sorry. What were you asking? I'm sorry. I had. Oh yeah, absolutely. This music is so much better than the playlist for. Dude, I know. Well, I mean, you know, it's kind of like those. I'm at a like at a standstill when it comes to music, right? You know, you guys will know when half the reason that I stream when I was building Rocket Scooter, half the reason I streamed on Zoom was number one is just, you know, it's like less pressure while I'm building Rocket Scooter, and we were dealing with, at the time we were trying to get our data feed stable. We had just kind of that classic app that we have, we had just kind of released that, and then we were now pivoting to start building the charting app. And also the other half of the reason really was because I'm going to listen to my own playlist on Spotify. You know, YouTube will get copyright strikes, and you know, YouTube's algorithm doesn't really like to expand you further if you're getting copyright strikes according to the, you know, the tinfoil hat wearers of YouTube algorithms. So it was like, well, if I want to listen to my, you know, post rock or metal or any of the good stuff, because I listen to a lot of stuff, EDM, metal. I'm kind of like a music snob when it comes to stuff. I was a punk rocker in school. I like jazz. I mean, you name it. My playlists are weird. Nicole always, it's hit or miss because I listen to such weird stuff. Some of them I listen to are pretty cool. So I'm like, I'm gonna listen to the music I want. And then we come to YouTube, right? You have to kind of get those copyright free Twitch, I call them Twitch streamer playlists, right? Where sometimes I hear a song and I'm like, oh, I've heard that a million times. And it's like every time it's just background noise, copyright free stuff. And yeah, the playlists are very generic and sometimes they're just weird. And I could go out and build my own playlist, but I just find the YouTube ones that are mixed with like good songs and horrible songs. Like the one I played had like 2 or 3 songs I couldn't stand, and then it would come on. I would actually turn my own speakers down while I poisoned y'all's ears. So I'm sorry about that. But the lo-fi that I play like right now is kind of one of my favorites. It's like super chill. Wake up and you can kind of just like. This is Lo-Fi Geek. So if you guys want to know who this is, Lo-Fi Geek. He's pretty dope. Just Google that. You can always buy a bulk license. Wait, from YouTube? Teach me. Wait, so to play any YouTube bulk license to the music from from the production studio, from the producers, or the Epidemic Sound. Hey, yo, can you like message me? I want to learn how to do this. And actually, I'd like to follow your channel, Epidemic Sound. That's you. All right, let me check it out, man. And then you could just play whatever. Yeah, I have some bulk licenses for some. Epidemic Sound is where you got it from. Okay, cool. What channel do you have, by the way? And what do you do on your channel? I have a couple of bulk licenses that Rocket Scooter does purchase for AV stuff. So we get like, you know, bulk video, stock photos, bulk sounds, bulk music, and we use that for all our productions. But again, it's all generically made, no copy or copyright bulk license stuff. So I have to build a playlist and go through all of it and pick a bunch of songs like I never did. Ignore your current channel. Oh. What do you do? Is it trading or what is your channel? Like what's your bag? What you doing? Check your yellow lines. There's a gamma level at 4100, I believe. Let's do yellow lines. Oh, let's go really quick. Nasdaq yellow line. My friend, thank you. I did not have that turned on this morning. It's very important. Thank you for reminding me. So supporting this yellow line is a big deal. This is the pivot to watch today. Thank you. And with Amazon breaking, that's got me even more scared. Appreciate you, man. You guys are so great at reminding me of this stuff. Negative resilience now. Oh yeah. Thank you for Bonnie Tech reminding me as well. Negative resilience, and this yellow line is it. So this is actually the pivot to watch. These are things, and we have a channel we publish. This is another Rocket Scooter calc. These are manual at the time. Within a couple months, we're gonna have all of our stuff automated. So I still draw them in Thinkorswim. 1241.91 for Qs. Let's make sure we watch Qs today. That negative resilience has me a little worried. I'm gonna go ahead and mark the yellow line and make sure everybody knows this. I'm gonna post in chat. So, okay, right here. I'm just gonna kind of quickly do it. Is anybody else tracking this? Make sure you keep note of that. I love when y'all remind me of stuff. When y'all make sure I don't know anything. Remember, this is what I said this morning. Today's gonna be a futures thing. Keep your eyes open. 20.3 for 1241 yellow line. So be careful. Ooh, that's really good. That's good to know. Where are you two? Converted. So that conversion, thank you, man. I love when y'all are on top of this. Y'all are telling me what to do. This means I'm doing my job right. Y'all aren't letting me forget stuff. Buying tech, pat on the back, my friend. And of course, Alexa, pat on back. Y'all are watching when you watch Alexa. So how are you? So this is your first, I guess is your first week, right? So how are you like out the door feeling like you're getting acclimated to some of the tools? Watching resilience is exactly what you should be doing. You're starting to really click, right? That is the thing that's supporting my decision. I got to keep an eyeball on it. Very proud of y'all. Resilience is saving itself, so I feel pretty good about this. I'm feeling pretty okay, but I just want to make sure it stays above 0. Do y'all remember, you remember Full House, right? Do you guys remember Uncle Jesse used to have that like on air light outside the basement door where like he didn't go downstairs if he was recording? Nicole says you're gonna get me one. Like a Bluetooth on air, have mercy, you know, light. Can it just say have mercy instead of on air? Like, can it actually just be like Uncle Jesse themed? Maybe they have one. If somebody finds me a link online of one of those cool Uncle Jesse lights, I want to put one outside my office. Maybe just in my bedroom. Like when I'm feeling a little saucy, I could just turn it on. It says have mercy or not the hair. Right? Ooh, mama. Well, you've used Rocket Scooter. It's January 1st. You've only had 2 losing days since then, trading every market day. Wow, that's very impressive. Is Jasmine Kumar, am I pronouncing that correctly? Very, very cool. What is your, I'll say, what is your main style of what actually are you trading? And what kind of techniques are you employing to keep your win rate as high as it is? Are you doing options or stocks? Man, I feel awful. Hoi. Oh. See this? You Ashton, are you here? Check your DMs if you're here. Yo, what's up? We're green. All right, what should I do? Should I gamble on the Fed or what? Wait. Oh, I'm sorry, I had this muted. How long are you holding them? Jasmine is saying 10 to 15 DTE. Matt hasn't market random since LQ met for QQQ. Wait, since liquidity pocket went on QQQ. Yeah, the market is random, 100% random. You nailed it. That liquidity pocket on QQQ, and actually I think I forgot to mention that this morning. I get so busy on these Tuesdays because I'm in MySpace, not MySpace, but I'm in a space. I wish I was still in MySpace. You remember MySpace pages when you log in and your friend had their favorite song playing and all? You had your 8 friends, and like you would barter with your friends and create all this drama because you weren't in their top 8. You're like, yo, can you kick out Bobby over here? Bobby's a dork. Put me in. Let me be your number 8. I want everybody to know that I'm your top 8 friends. Nicole, you're in my top 8. Maybe even my top 7. No, not yet. MySpace had a music page too. I used to have a MySpace music page. I actually, you guys might know, I actually play guitar and I play piano, and I actually wrote a piano album one year when I was in my 20s. I wrote a bunch of songs. My aunt passed away, and my Christmas present to my family was I wrote a song for my aunt, I was probably like 26 or something. And then I wrote a song for each remaining person in my mom's side of the family, my grandma, my uncles, my brother. And then I put it all on that MySpace page, and we listened to it on Christmas. And I'm bearing everybody CDs. Remember CDs? Oh, yeah. I don't know if MySpace music page is still there. I'll have to go find it. Write a song for Rocket Scooter? What kind of music would Rocket Scooter be? Like, what kind of music would we have? You know, I used to play when I was in college. It's in a metal band. Like, I can write some pretty gnarly metal music. Rocket Scooter. Techno. I do write electronic music on occasion, or I did when I was younger. That was actually the thing I loved to do more than anything. I need to dig out my old hard drives to get all my old Fruity Loop stuff on it. Disco comes to mind. You know it. You know, I had this conversation. Nicole and I were driving to Austin. Do you remember when I had that conversation with you when I was saying Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind & Fire is one of the best songs of all time? Remember that? We were trying to find modern remixes, EDM remixes of classic 80s songs and disco songs. And she's like, what is Boogie Wonderland? I'm like, oh, you hear it in every movie. It was like at the end of Happy Feet even when they were doing the dance. Even in high school, we did a pep rally thing to it. Disco comes to mind. Like I said, there are certain songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, like songs that literally define a genre, right? Like if you're like if an alien were to visit Earth and they say, what is disco? And most people will say, you know, put on Staying Alive by the Bee Gees or whatever. No, right? Disco is about dancing. To me, the most danceable disco song was Boogie Wonderland. And I had this whole we always talk about the weird, we have these long talks about weird random stuff. So you can have like a hot disco ball dancing glittery disco song. Speaking of glitter, have you heard of the glitter conspiracy, Nicole? Have you guys heard of the glitter conspiracy? I'm introduce you to the YouTube algorithm and how it recommends strange stuff for me. Apparently in 2017, 2018, there's a huge conspiracy about what glitter is actually. Like glitter is this top secret industry. Y'all heard of this? I can't be the only one that's heard of this. It's a thing. Somebody, I don't know, New York Times or something. There is like one glitter company and they literally have like a monopoly on glitter and they're very secretive about what glitter, you know, how they make the glitter or whatever. I'm sure they just grind up aluminum foil. But like, actually not foil, they grind up sheet aluminum. The same way you'd grind up, I don't know, pepper or something. But the funny thing was the guy was like, so who are your, just as a general, the article, the guy wrote it was like, so who are your clients in the glitter industry? Who's your top client? And she's like, oh, we can't tell you that. He's like, wait, what do you mean? It's glitter. You know, it's like Walmart or something. They say, no, we can't tell you that. And he's like, well, why can't you tell me that? And it's really interesting. He's well, they don't want you to know that it's glitter. Almost like cupping her mouth when she said it. He's like, wait, who and what? She's like, I mean, you know, it's just, I can't say anything else. And literally he put that in the article. And he was like begging her, like, what do you mean? Like, what's it used for? And then all these conspiracies popped on the internet of like what glitter was used for. They're like, oh, it's what they put in toothpaste. Oh, it's what they put in vitamins. Oh, it's like, they don't want you to know that it's glitter. So something that is very popular would be completely decimating to the industry if we found out it was really glitter. Somebody said Britney Spears. Who is the world's biggest consumer of glitter? Like, what do they put it in? Is it made of people? Like, what is it? And the algorithm was all these, and it became like a meme where people would speculate all the funny things that it could be. The hip hop group he used to listen to, and in mind, the DJ used to put out some side projects. They were all disco. His name was DJ Haircut. Initially came into me, started him as a singer, Mayor Hawthorne. Oh, sweet. Rocket Scooter disco song. That'd be kind of cool. Like if I were to go visit an alien planet and take one, okay, so if you were to visit an alien planet and you're allowed to take one song with you that represents humanity, like if you went to the alien civilization, they all pointed their alien weapons at you and they brought you before their leader and knelt you down and they're about to feed you to some giant alien monster and they give you one chance to save your life and they said, we like music here. Kind of like that Rick and Morty episode. Show me what you got. And you get to pick one song to prove that we as Earthlings are cool. What song would you pick? Like a song that would make them go, okay, wait a minute. All right, let's give these guys a chance. Still Dre? Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you like that song rescues any dead party for sure. Which one? Still Dre is goated. I mean, yeah, no, that's probably one of the best songs ever written as well. That also defined a certain style of hip hop. Macho Man by the Village People. Village People is always a party. That's why it's used in like every wedding. You're going with Serial. A Millie by Lil Wayne. September by Earth, Wind and Fire. I think, Todd, this is another Earth, Wind and Fire reference. See, other people understand that some of the best music ever written would be Earth, Wind and Fire stuff. You know the September song, right? Such a great song. Cantaloupe, yes, us three. Cantaloupe. Okay. Beautiful Day by U2. One of my favorite songs, actually, in general. I actually play that on my guitar all the time. Actually, and if you haven't seen U2, if you have not seen U2 in concert, oh, it's great. Like there's a couple of bands. Now I'll tell you, keep throwing some songs out there. A little story about U2. There's a couple of concerts that I'd say you have to go to. Like I have a list of things you have to see before you die that are just like worth the show. U2 is famous for their concerts, like the high production value. The production value of U2 shows is massive. Like last time I went to U2 was probably like 2017 or something, somewhere in there, and they had a screen. I'm talking like maybe 50 feet tall by like 300 feet wide. It was just this gigantic screen, massive. It was in a huge stadium, and just the visuals and the audio, the production value is great. And when they played Beautiful Day, like right at the end, it was just like nuts, right? It was such a great show. Another show you have to see, where probably most of you just don't like the band, including myself, would be Coldplay. Like Coldplay is one of those bands that's like, it's like everyone has a Coldplay song on some playlist somewhere. All of you do, we all do. Or you might have like the EDM remixes of a Coldplay song, but you never really go out of your way to listen to them, right? Because it's just like good. It's not bad. It's like just good generic. It's like Nickelback. It's like generic sounding pop rock, and it's like you don't hate it, but it's like it can't really be your favorite band, even though the songs are nice and cool. Anyways, the Coldplay concert is like in the top 3 shows you must see ever in your life. If you've never seen Coldplay play live, it is one of those experiences that is just great. Even if you hate the music, the show is fantastic. Like they do so many neat things to get the audience to participate. Like Queen, if Queen was still around, Queen was synonymous with audience participation. Like they literally would write songs for the whole wall of sound thing to get people in the song. Freddie Mercury would get you yelling and screaming back at him. It's like when you get the audience involved, it just makes the concert a whole fun experience. Muse was pretty good too, like in that same, it was like Coldplay Mini. Production value was really high, so they put a lot of effort into like the stage presence and stuff. Another concert you guys have probably never heard of the band, but you must see would be Sigur Rós, the Icelandic prog rock band. It's one of my favorite bands of all time, in the top 5 for sure. Their they're the guys that kind of play like this progressive rock metal, but they wear all black and they bow their violins with a cello bow. I mean, they bow their guitars with the cello bow instead of strumming it. It's just like droning, dark, melodic sound. And they actually started becoming very popular lately because a lot of the movies have been using their stuff in soundtracks. Like Aquaman had a song in the credits for them. Let's see what else you guys are putting in. Still Dre, Shining Star, okay, Beautiful Day, Call Me Maybe. Get out of here, Micah. Go. Get out of here. That is the most addicting song on the planet. Why would we do that to them? Why would we? Oh, you can't do that to them. Call Me Maybe. Life in a Northern Town by the Dream Academy. Hey na 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 na. Hey na na. Everyone loves that song. Bohemian Rhapsody, 100%. Mark, come on, dude. 2012 Rush, dude. Yeah, you gotta bring some Rush to the table. One of the best rock bands of all time, of course. Sean coming in with Bohemian Rhapsody, 100%. Drop the Mic by BC Boys. Love BC Boys. Okay, what do you got? Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. You can get all those aliens headbanging in a circle. Wow! Are you ready? We're in the jungle, baby. Nicole, you ever heard that song before? Gonna take you to your knees, please. My dad used to sing Guns N' Roses all the time as a kid, taking me to school. Check the rhyme, good stuff. Because I got high, Garrick Otto. Because I got high. Sly and Family Stone, yep. You saw Elton John in Vegas. That's still on my to-do list, is to see Elton John at some point. I also haven't seen Bruce Springsteen, which of course this is also on my list. I knocked off pre-COVID. Before COVID, I knocked off Andrea Bocelli from my list, which is, you know, he's getting a little older. Fantastic. Like, you have to like that style of music, though. It's essentially like operatic singing. But Bocelli, man, that's like, you may not know it. That's the real panty dropper right there. You take a girl to Bocelli and she's just weeping. I mean, that's like an emotional experience. He's so good. Let's see. Muse is also phenomenal live. Dude, Mateen, I saw Muse is fucking great. I've seen them twice. I love them. Oh yeah. A few years back, definitely but Musty's definitely not touring now. I'd like to think that everyone's farewell tour is never their farewell tour. I feel like the Eagles were doing farewell tours for like 20 years, which again, I've still never seen Don Henley perform, and I was really sad I never got a chance to. I don't even know what's going on there. Is he still touring, even solo? Let me go to Wikipedia, see if they're still touring. Also on my list. I've also never seen The Who, and I know that's on my list as well. They're still touring. Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. You know, I would say that that's probably the best. If you're going to take a song that represents the world, one thing, if you're going to take a song that represents America, you're either going to do like Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash or Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen. Those are like American songs. America. Or maybe some jazz, like some good American jazz, like some Coltrane or something. But jazz would be such a highly specific thing, as jazz is an American invention too. But Ring of Fire is like, you want to say, by the way, we got this cool, we're Earthlings, we got this one cool song, but let me show you what America's about. Let me introduce this man called Johnny Cash. Bring it in. Great song. You saw the Joshua Tree Anniversary Tour? Wait, Micah, which band were you talking about? Which Joshua Tree? The U2? Were you talking about U2, their Joshua Tree one? That was their famous one. Muse is also phenomenal live. Matt Bellamy, a guitarist to be seen. Oh, absolutely, dude. Coldplay agreed. One of the best shows you've been to. Yeah, it's like Coldplay is like blend-in music, right? Matt Bellamy's great. Like I'm like a huge Muse fan, but also like if you like the Killers, like I'm a huge Killers fan as well. Looks like my trade's going. I like it. There's that hedge pressure tap on Qs. I don't know what's going on, but let's go ahead and take that. Whatever. Let's close it out for a win. All right, day 9 winning streak. I don't know what's going on. When I don't know what's going on, first thing I always like to do in trading is close out. Let's read. Let's make sure nothing's come through the news. Financial news. That's a very unusual volume spike. And let me tell you, when you have unusual volume spikes, you understand what's going on. Unusual volume spikes are weird, and I can't explain it. But so what I'm going to do is close out my position for profit. Like I said, in day trading, you always have to be watching. Like, and I'm chit-chatting and talking. We are definitely watching. So whatever the hell's going on there. So somebody come out. EIA number is EIA number comes out Wednesdays at 10:30 Eastern. This is Tuesday, and the only oil report we have would be the API number. It comes out after market. 10,000 contracts in S&P futures is some kind of change. Now, I got lucky on that one. I don't like to trade on luck and QQQ at hedge pressure. I went ahead and closed out my position. Let's go ahead and make sure we don't have any news at 10:09. Financial juice is picking up nothing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, they teach you a really cool trading trick. What is the fastest news source on the planet? If you type it in right, I'm going to send you $1 million at a rate of 1 penny a year for 1 million years. Hold on, let's go. Twitter. Go to Twitter. Twitter. Gotta see what's going on here. Twitter is a fast source of information. People like to be first. Twitter's a place where people like to race and be first. Let's see if anybody has anything. Usually I go to Stock Market News, Evans, or Stock Talk Weekly. Those folks are always on point. EAA short-term outlook at 12. Okay. Jim Cramer, all right, reporting on stocks. They posted nothing. So Twitter is my fastest source of news. Financial Juice is my fastest news parser. So whatever happened, right? I'm coming here seeing there are no red texts coming up. A very large volume spike that I can't explain, that I have nothing. I have nothing on the calendar that's coming up that's showing me something I should pay attention to. Economic optimism came out 10 minutes ago. Nothing, right? So when you have something you don't understand, just go ahead and close out. EAA short-term outlook at 12. Right. And so as far as going into the equities market, I wouldn't equate that to 15,000 contracts in the S&P over the course of the next couple of over a 2-minute period. That's highly unusual, right? So when trading, remember, when the universe throws you a bone like this and you can't explain why, don't try to explain why while you're in the position. Use your pivots, get out, and then come through and see what's going on. This randomly, right? European markets close at 11:30, so we've got 19 minutes on that. So that's a spike. Something happened. Somebody did something, and the fact that we went right up to hedge pressure on Qs, I closed out. Does everyone see how that works? This is another trading trick. Do we all understand? Everyone understand? I was watching Qs, but I'm also watching SPY to make sure that SPY also popped through hedge pressure really quick as well. This could have just been a really rapid squeeze, but let me tell you, I think I've solved the problem. There it is, volatility adjustment. So this, unless the news comes out, hugging this triple B, these are very high volume pivots. As we say, this is what I say, watch all day long. It's a volatility thing. Look at this volatility thing, just a rapid squeeze. And I don't believe that's a rally, so I'm glad I closed out. Do we all understand? Who do you follow for the fast news? Stock Market News is probably the fastest news source there is. Evan, he's like him. He's always first. Him and Stock Talk Weekly kind of like race to be like first, and they both push really hard to be first and fast. They're both great. I love both of them. So everyone knows Stock Talk. How can you not know Stock Talk? Of course, and then Stock Market News. Right? Handle. Oh, let me get you guys. Yeah. Hold on one second. Okay. So follow both of these guys. They will pretty much always have your stuff. Stock Talk Weekly is great. They have a trade room. You guys know him and TSDR and Bracco and Yananzu and those boys over there. They're a cool crowd. Those are my brothers. Give both of those guys a follow. They're always on point with the news. This first thing came out now. Is he modifying this? Does that make sense? When you can't explain something, I'm still digging. I really am. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Nothing. It's volatility adjustment. That's what it is. This is pre-positioning volatility. This is grounds to get out of my long. So I'm gonna take it as a win. Another win today. We'll call it a day. Day 9? Haven't lost trading yet. Remember, you don't think that things randomly rally. Random stuff doesn't happen that often. So when random stuff happens, it's an opportunity. In this case, an opportunity to get out. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, so nothing on financial juice, nothing coming out, and this is a random pivot. Now, again, we did have a pivot off of triple B. That's the only explanation. And again, what's great is that I go look for news and nobody has an explanation, but we do. A volatility adjustment, a number I've been talking about all morning. This is your news. Who's the first source of information in the world? Fox here, baby. Sometimes positional changes. This is proof that we're the first to start doing this. Nobody's reporting on this. It's just a shift. It's a balance around that triple B. It's bleeding out a month. It's bleeding out a year to a month of contango, like built into the futures contract. It's a random shift as there's an adjustment based on VIX. It's VIX futures tracking the VIX, and that volatility adjustment, the VIX probably took a clean drop if I do VIX by itself, as somebody rapidly got into SPX options just now. I bet you if you go to Mel Stone's thing or any of the unusual folks, they're probably talking about there's probably some unusual activity in SPX right now. Let's see if I'm right. This is advanced stuff. Let's see if Mel's posting anything. Mel's also awesome. She's my unusual girl. I say unusual. The black box stocks, they do all this unusual dark flow, whatever, dark pool activity. There are great follows as well. Volatility adjustment is what happens is if the VIX futures represents a value of the VIX at the date the futures contract expires. This is a quickie lesson in futures. So what I call a volatility adjustment is a fancy word for saying a pivot off of triple B. That's exactly what it is. So why, right? Let's go to a tick chart and see if something like we see anything weird. We kind of do, right? We see an impact that just took place right here. So what happened is that you clearly have S&P monthly options expiring on the 17th. The VIX is an equation that looks 30 days out on SPX options. If somebody hedged and bet on volatility or bet against volatility and the S&P is trading down, without creating the additional volatility, you'll see a reflection in VIX futures anticipating volatility. But as you see, the downward trading did not get more volatile. Volatility is this is what you see at Triple B. There's a whole lesson on why and it's funny that every time the market does something weird, we tend to find the explanation for it. So what likely happened, you see how volatility is the distance between peaks and valleys in the basic nutshell of the S&P. Do you see that the market didn't become more or less volatile? It's practically the same. The distance between like peak and valley of every run, like VIX, VIX is practically the same. And so what VIX futures does is VX is an instrument that tries to predict what the VIX will actually be, since it's currently trading at this value. Right now, at the moment, instantaneous price in any futures contract is the market's belief of the value of what it tracks on the expiration day. Long-winded answer. So these VIX options, VIX futures will roll over next Tuesday, right? The last day of trading. It's Tuesday, I believe. So it's telling us that we're expecting the volatility to be lower going into Tuesday. And so what probably likely happened is if you're not getting that move, or somebody's not getting this move because that's going up, somebody rapidly started buying SPX options somewhere that tighten the market. So when you tighten the market, like essentially like right here, right? Imagine you've consolidated and then somebody went and bought literally Friday expiring options, and they bought a huge amount there and a huge amount there to straddle this consolidating range, just in case that breaks out one way or the other. And all it took was a little bit to trigger that pop. And because the options were so tight, as they're buying those options, the real VIX was probably trading down. And the adjustment was that responded and that responded. So volatility just got really big. Anytime markets break out and the range becomes bigger, volatility just got really big for some reason. That is volatile. Even if it goes up, that is still volatility. So when the market is raising its value, V1, V2. V2 is greater than V1. V2, the market just got more volatile, and VIX futures is going down. There's a huge discrepancy with the VIX going down, and there's that pop. That pop isn't a short squeeze. Short squeeze would bring the VIX up, and VIX futures would plan that. So this is a very interesting thing, that without a news event to forecast that, it's likely some balance between probably some usual upward order flow in the SPX options, which caused just a rapid hedging as calls ran in the money. And then it just triggered a chain reaction, or somebody acquired a large amount of something. Since we don't see that evidence in the VIX, it's not a positional change in the VIX, but probably it could just be a firm covering a short as well, believing that the market is not going to sell off from here. But honestly, this is likely going to decay and collapse. So what it means is that the VIX and VIX futures are probably deviating from each other, and something needed to adjust. Right? So let's see if we can find anything. It's not a tick. So as VIX is pricing itself, let me just make sure the timestamps are just layering on top of each other. Let's try to find like a timestamp of what moved first. So it's a triple B thing. So what you normally will see is that this is where the market has accurately priced in expected volatility at the close date of this contract. So it looks like right about 10:08, the VIX just shifted really rapidly, right? Like literally on this candle. And as you see, VIX futures are moving first. So as this was rejecting the 10:08 candle, so we're going to see like what really happened. This is trading down, and this is that candle. That's this candle. you had a rapid shift in the VIX, okay, which futures were pressing lower, which probably triggered somebody to do something in SPX options to probably get really tight on the market, which was bringing VIX lower. And then, of course, we just had a rapid squeeze as those calls shifted in the money, and it triggered chain reaction. So in this particular case, why would VIX rapidly shift? Let's see what happened exactly 10:08 this morning. You can see that the SPX was moving aggressively with no volume. So if there's an adjustment of the volatility, number one, or at this particular time, there's got to be a stock that maybe broke through hedge pressure and created a short squeeze. The only explanation is some stock exhibited a short squeeze and the S&P had to rapidly reflect, but by 15,000 contracts, that's a whole lot of some kind of stock to price in the entire index that high. There would have to have been a mega cap that maybe, if we're going to check hedge pressure breakups, and see if you have anything big, like an Amazon or an Apple or something. Let's see if Apple, no, it was not Apple. Let's see what Amazon, the Amazon breakthrough monthly. We're going to look to see if something happened. Nope. Google, nothing. Okay. So let's try to look for monthly hedge pressure breaks. So like, again, that's a whole lot of risk in the S&P itself. It had to be something really big. Let's look for monthly hedge breakups. And probably it's just a volatility thing, which means it's short-lived, which means I got out of the way. Nothing. What if Nell saw any dark pool activity or something? Nothing. Oh, well. Yeah, nothing. So that's basically it. It's a VIX thing. So you just basically had the S&P doing normal stuff, right? It's normally in that channel. And what happened is likely in here, people bought a lot of options. When you're buying options closer to expiration and closer to the money, which I like to call tightening the box, right? If you think of a box as how far out in time, it's usually kind of how the SPX works. Okay. It's a pretty cool way to think about it. And then we'll go through this it'll be like a little 5-minute lesson. So imagine I'm going to draw a box that's like 30 days, okay? If this is the current price, the maximum price range, let's say this is infinity and this is 0. If I were to buy, if this is the current price right here, and I were to buy a put or a call, doesn't matter which one, because a put call parity will keep the Greeks the same. If I were to buy an option right here, that's going to be a different effect than if I bought that option right here. If the option expires 30 days out, it'll have less of an impact on the VIX. If the option is here, more of an impact. If I translate in this axis, if I buy an option at the money, this has a less impact on the VIX than this. So if I were to do these three options, this is V3, V2, and V1. The highest impact